Yeah, tell us the story. How did you?
What happened?
Skuller, how did you?
So basically, I got that.
No,
so
let me. I have to start from the beginning.
Before this video starts, I would like to say that it's a very long video, and this will cover everything from how Gsmack and Skuller met to where we are now. So it's best if you watch this video in the background, because you're not going to be able to sit through an hour and 15 minutes. But without further ado, enjoy the video and enjoy the story of GS Trading Co.
You'll have to like talk about like how you formed Insanity.
Okay.
But essentially, I used to play a server called the Archon. It was a prison server, and I was one of those people who didn't know what to do with their Christmas money and still don't know what to do with their Christmas money. And I bought a like $300 rank because I wanted one.
Fuck?
It was like a $300. I bought a $150 rank for like 70, and then essentially I did a bunch of rank transfers up to like be like high up. But back then, rank gives you popularity, popularity gives you friends, yada yada yada. Same thing today.
He bought me out. No, I'm just kidding.
And I was like one of the top people. I was in one of the top clans, and one day I'm mining and this guy named Franchise Gaming logs in, and he's just started spending a ton of money, and he brought his like IRL friend Gap for fun onto the server, and they like shared accounts all the time. So the one day like I was the top rank, I traded up ranks. This rank was $750 USD, but I traded up like just buying ranks with like deals and discounts and promo codes. I was nukering in the top mine, and he's like, no way. He's like, you're not the only Titan that hacks. And he started nukering for me. And he essentially, he told me the one day, he was like, I know about you and like all your friends, like you guys are really cool. He's like, I'll join your group. He skipped school to mine for me so I can get money on prisons to get to free rank before everyone else. And then me and him just became really good friends. And then he was like, yo, like I got this other friend group, like we're playing factions, want to join? And I'm like, hell yeah.
Now it's
Gsmack's turn. And then he could tell the rest.
Basically, I'm playing on a faction server with my friend, and we had a little faction of 3 called We Dem Boys. And basically one day, one of like the top factions was getting raided. They were called Universal. And we were allied with a bunch of like random people, so we got TP'd into this raid, and these guys were in there, and they're just like, want to hop in a call, and we're like, and we only really talk to each other, but at the time we're just like, yeah, sure, why not? So we hop in a call with a man named Adam, and
I still hate him to this day.
Adam is
a loser. Sorry.
Adam is a very good lad. And Adam basically
just had
a friend named Nick, who I don't know why we always say his last name, but that's his name. And an annoying fucking kid who's not annoying anymore. At the time, we had the idea in Red Sox baseball. Now, anyway,
Red Sox baseball 49.
Now,
I don't even know if that account exists. I'm about to name him see that.
So funny story. So we get in a call with these guys, right? You know, they're cool, whatever. At the time, we're just playing factions, so we're like, all right, let's talk to these guys, hopefully get their base, and then raid them when they give us their base. So we literally were in a call with these guys. We're in their base. We start mining their spawners, and we mine like 3 blaze spawners, and we're like, you know what? We can't do this, and we place them back. And we hit it off. Eventually, we created a faction called Insanity, and we started inviting people, and it grew into a lot of people. And then we met this kid who at the time was named like JMuth12 or something. That would later be known as Franchise Gaming, who basically, he was an annoying kid, but he had his parents' money, so he always would buy us.
Essentially, I'm going to cut in really quick. Essentially, his dad helped build parts of like the Trump Tower, and then after that, like Trump would like pay him like certain amounts to like work for him. So he was like making I think his dad made like several like millions within a year.
But some of the biggest raids we ever had was because this guy paid like $30 for a TP into like a room with a bunch of Prot 4 and stuff. And it was just like so funny. But anyway, he changed his name at some point to I Spit Ice or Water or something. And then he changed it to Gap for fun. And he meets this kid named Skuller. And he's like, he's like, Skuller's joining the faction. I'm like, all right, is he trustworthy? And then he's like, oh yeah, he's sharing a box with you. And I'm like, okay.
No, you messed it up. You messed it up. So
What?
all right, so this is where I gotta cut in because it's inaccurate for him, and he's gonna start laughing because he's gonna remember it all as it comes. So when so kind of was like, yeah, like you want to join this faction? I was like, yeah, why not? So I join. He adds me to a Discord call, and all I see is like
A
blah,
Skype
blah.
call. It's probably a
Skype, yeah,
call.
Skype. It was a Skype group with everybody in there. His one friend hated me from the second I even said I was going to join, but we were all there, and he's like, is he trustworthy? And he's like, yeah. So then they teleport me to outside the walls, and Gsmack was like, yeah, so like, this is the outside the base, you can be out here for now. But the one thing with factions is that you could only owner claim. And this man is a schizophrenic and owner claimed every single chunk of his things because he was probably that paranoid of insiding at the time, because that was one of the big ways, because you have like 5 cobble walls up and pray that someone doesn't inside you.
So,
he owner claimed the whole base, and with that you have to be moderator in the faction, and I wasn't mod. So I was like, and I need mod to do anything, and he's like, no you don't. He's like, I can place right now. I was like, yeah, it's because you're mod. And he was like, oh. So then I tell him to give me mod, and he's like, no, you just joined. And then starts jumping in, I'm gonna quit if you don't give me mod. And he was like, give him mod.
All right, I gotta interject. So at the time, basically, the faction was just like our 6 friends or whatever. We basically, our whole game plan was, you can call it fucked up, whatever. We basically invited people, gave them a box in our base where they could only open chests, and did it just because they added power for our land claims. So that was basically it. Only the mods could actually edit the physical base. Our members could just live within boxes, and that was it. And
so then he gave me mod and started building, and so then Gsmack teleports me to an empty box, and he's like, hey, like, this is gonna be your box, you can build here. And I start building. I do my little like Quartz 2013 design with like the slabs and the stairs, the water protected chests so people can't see egg them. And he teleports me. He's like, your box is really nice. And I was like, you want to live here? He's like, yeah, I'm taking over it. And I was like, no, you're not.
No, I didn't.
Something like that. Or we got put, or you liked my box, and you were like, I was like, you want a box together? And you were like, yeah, sure.
Well, I remember the first night I actually talked like one-on-one with Skuller. We were up until like midnight or like 1 o'clock just building a box.
Yeah, this quartz box with like waterproof chests and everything.
Yeah.
And that's just how I met him. Like, we just played factions like crazy. And then we both realized that we were big Camping Rusher fans. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Camping Rusher uploads this video, 2B2T, oldest anarchy server, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, this is dope, I'm gonna join. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. So he joins, he got that June 1st, 2016 join date. And then he keeps playing, keeps telling me about it. I'm like, all right, fine. So then I logged in. That's why I have June 3rd, 2016. I mean, it's still better than June 1st. I don't care. June 3rd just sounds more mean. So then we just kind of keep playing. He plays a lot more than me. I didn't really play throughout much of like mid 2016, and then late 2016 through basically the whole time. Just kind of kept playing, and we just both became addicted to just collecting stacked items and using.
So big gap you left out. So basically, the stacking dupe hit, and I don't think Skuller was playing that much at the time. I don't know what had happened, but I sent him a photo of like stack shit, and he sent me a message that will always taunt me saying stack, what was it, snowballs or something like
stack snowballs. Yeah,
he's like, stack snowballs, and I didn't get to it, and we never obtained those. But
there was only one person who had them, and he reverted them.
Anyway, that dupe lasted for, see, this is my old facts.
I want to butt in really quick. Me saying stack snow, I've always told Gsmack, I said, listen, if I was on for that stacking dupe, I would have stacked every single random item I could. And he was telling me, he was like, no, like, you would have went straight for stacked gear, like, you want to get all the essentials. And I was like, then why would the first thing I tell you to do is stack snowballs? Think about that. Think about all the possibilities we could have had.
So basically, what had happened for me is I had found oh, this dupe was only around for a little bit where you could stack stuff. I stacked a couple cool things. I wonder what other people had made. And that's basically what led into learning about, like, oh, stacked flint and steels. Oh, this. And it got to a point where I just traded to get like each of every item. And then I realized, like, there are different types of items. Like, oh, a friggin' stacked, I don't even know, like efficiency 4 shovels instead of efficiency 5. Like, just random stuff. It kind of just got into a, if I don't have it, we want it type of thing. And this was when all the donkey dupes were working. So, like, you traded someone for 1 box, you could get infinite amounts of it. So I was just, like, trading, you know, what I had created for more that I didn't have, and then trading what I had gotten from other people for more things, and it just completely blew to the point where we had probably more than
still known as like the biggest collection.
And it's completely by chance we discovered very early on how to create the unbreakable items via our friend who at the time gave us a suggestion of, oh, just put them in a crafting table. The biggest words that would affect
cubes.
I know. Yeah. And
the reason we knew that was a thing, I forget exactly why, but he traded a pickaxe from Armor Stand for some gold helmets, I think. The double gold helmets? No, you went 32K'ing for those.
So basically what had happened is, so there was a bug in Spigot. It did happen to me once, and it was completely random, and you can't explain it. But basically, if you could, like, pick up a negative XP orb, which instead of mending your item, it would actually make the durability decrease. So you could make negative items. I only had the chance to do it on a flint and steel, but a player named Tenaxis did it on a bunch of random shit. For whatever reason, almost everything a god item except for he did golden chest plates because he's a moron. But anyway, we were able to obtain, we thought, oh, if we could obtain one of these Goodwill negative kits, we can make unbreakable gear. And that's basically what we did. I don't remember who we got it off of at the time, but we traded for that, duped it, obviously didn't tell anyone our intentions of why we wanted the negative kit so bad, created unbreakable items, and then I think it all ended up with one trade with UFO where he decided to just let the cat out of the bag and start selling them for, like, at the time.
So what happened? I can cut it in for this because I know. Because at the time there was the incursion and the anti-incursion, and the one big thing is that I think Jared around the time did some Jared things, and that formed that made me and Gsmack join the anti-incursion. The one thing that me and him had were unbreakables. Everyone knew we had them, and that gave you so much advantages. It gave you totem advantages, it gave you block advantages, pearl advantages, everything, because you're not carrying the extra sets and the extra XP. So to beat the incursion, we started giving out unbreakable kits. And that's where I guess UFO got his hands on a set and really started to just ramp it up.
Yeah, he was just started selling them for $10 a pop. Obviously people were buying, and we never, that's the thing, we never, I mean, there was a period of time toward when we quit where we did sell items, but what we would do when we sold is we would, basically, it was my idea. I don't know if anyone does this on 2B, but it was basically like an Ender Chest bundle. So instead of buying like one kit per $1, you could buy an e-chest worth of stuff. So, like, it would have like a redstone kit, a thing to make shulkers, like gear, you know, everything a player would need for like $15. So it was just kind of like a bundle because I wasn't going to run to spawn to make $2. It's just not worth my time. But anyway, we never sold anything for like money other than that. Like, we never tried to profit off of the items we made. We would make a cool item or have a cool item and then use it to trade for more cool shit. And we had so much.
I feel like we missed out on a big part of it. So kind of like around the time like when we started collecting stuff and we realized that there was a big trading market. We saw like Goodwill, we saw PK, we saw all these people. That's kind of like when we were like, we kind of need a name for ourselves because people knew who we were, but they kind of just knew us as like just two people. So we wanted to like
because hold on. This was at, so going back to when I said the stacking dupe, this is what had happened. Let me just go kind of back further. The stacking dupe happened. I was at 27 million because I had just help finish the end of the Z plus highway. The stacking dupe hits. I'm duping a bunch of stuff. Long story short, I'm at my base out there, and I realize, it sucks out here. It's lonely, whatever. So what did I do after the dupe was patched? I took one copy of everything that I had made, and I put in my chest and I killed the spawn. When the next donkey dupe hit, which seemed to last literally forever, that's when the trading of the stacked items actually started to occur, pretty much among like everyone. During that time, I was like, I don't know, I was just playing around with names, and I said GS Trading Co. or something like that. And I think at the time Skull was like, no, or something stupid, but I just was like, okay, well, that's what I'm calling it for now.
Warehouse
And
trading.
it was kind of like the type of thing of like threw it at a wall and it stuck. I mean, and then I know a lot of, I don't know who's gonna watch this video, but the name kind of just carried over to Sim just because it was what we were already known for. And then now, Baron's the channel that Baron runs, but it kind of was originally just me and Skuller just, collecting some stuff, and that was kind of what we were known as. But
yeah, and then how we got to this point, I think of like how everyone met each other. Wasn't it like, how did you meet? Because like people are gonna know who this is, but 4Pilot was the one that introduced me to
yes, so
TP2T. How'd you meet him?
I
That's all
met
yours.
I met 4Pilot. So I met him when he was on a different account that had it had a different name at the time. But basically, him and I ran into each other a lot, ironically, on Tubi, because like I like to do a lot of I don't know, like we cleared the lava at Nether spawn. Like I did a lot of like Nether, or both Nether and Overworld, like just spawn repair and hanging out at spawn, whatever. He also was a spawn rat, not like a PvPer, but he would just like hang around, I don't know, build random stuff. Long story short, he had a stacked item that I didn't have. It was like damaged universal pants or something. I don't know. But I traded him them for a shulker of each. Like I gave him that for them, and because he wanted to build a 300 ring road in the Nether. And then I would just keep running into him when he was building it. And then I don't know what had happened, but one time we just got in a call, and I don't know, we just started talking to him, and then he introduced us to his friend at the time, which it's complicated now, but
Yeah, we'll get into the whole thing. Like,
Red
so
Baron.
at this time, my username was Red Baron before I changed it to Booney Be It, which I'll come into it later why I changed my name in my own interview. But at the time, I think I was at Iron Fist, and I didn't leave the base because I didn't know what to fucking do. So eventually, he said to come to spawn. Oh no, I think he told me that I either died or he told me to come to spawn, and we eventually started negative 911 511, which I don't know why we kept remaking it, but it was literally just an obsidian like area that we just kept.
It was like a platform that was like kind of a castle that basically kept getting repaired.
Yeah, we just like kept redoing it.
It was yeah. It kind of all just happened. I mean, it wasn't that's not the type of server that you really go around hop. I mean, at least I don't recommend you go around hopping in VCs looking to meet friends, but it kind of just happened. I have yet to make one friend from joining one of the big groups. That just didn't work out for me. I've never been one to like doing that path. Like, I don't know, in factions, I never wanted to be one of those people that just joins a faction to, help the owner and not have any say. Like, we run this shit,
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
what happened with Imperium, right? That was why.
Yeah, like I'd rather do it's especially in a video game. Like if you're following others in a video game where you have no power, it's pretty dumb in my opinion. Like, so anyway, so we just always kind of did our own thing and had a blast. Shout out to 2017 2017 to 2019 was probably the most fun.
Because we
server.
quit. Did we quit in 2020 or was it 2021 that we quit?
I quit in a real capacity in, I think it was April 2020.
And then
We found a dupe. We found the Goujon and I found the gateway dupe, which I don't know if anyone actually ever used it, but we did. It was just a blast. The server was at its peak when 32Ks were everywhere and unbreakable gear, and you could say what you want, but God mode, all that stuff was just book banning. That was
Yeah, you guys were in a lot of fit videos.
that was the most fun. But all good things come to an end. If you enjoy it now, great for you, but you know, it's more or less just like a watered down SMP at this point, and
Especially with like,
very
everything being patched, basically.
very kid friendly, very kid catered now. You know, I understand why he's doing it, but I don't really believe in like having the new seed and stuff like that. The map ID randomizer where they can't have map IDs. There's no point because the limit goes to like 2 billion now. So I don't know why he did that. But there's like little stuff that he's added that doesn't, you know, really entice me to play there anymore. But
Yeah, I think we should cover, because I don't know when it was that, like, no, it was when Pilot and I lost. We didn't lose Magneterm at this point. I think you invited me and Pilot to build BattleBloom. That was it. We built BattleBloom together.
BattleBloom. Yep.
It was
That was a
So how that started, I'll take
Um,
over. I'll give you a little water. I know how it started. I was very much a stash rat. I would only really go to spawn for on 2B to do trades, and I was kind of like the main trader. Gsmack was kind of like my as much as you might disagree, but if you look at it in kind of a real sense, you
No,
were
I-
you were like
I-
my second hand to be like, watch what you're trading, like don't do something stupid. I was
I
more
think-
of
yeah, I'll
like
say
like I like 100%. I will give him credit for starting everything, because if he didn't stack anything, we would have had nothing. I mean, eventually we could have got items and built up, but that's really what gave us the head start. Like over time, it kind of just became like this person has that, you socialize to them, try to get
Yeah.
that trade. And he would back me up on like if certain trades are worth it or not. And a lot of people don't know that, but we kind of set that rarity for the
We
stacked
did.
item market. Just everyone knowing what we had, we made it all public and everything.
Well, think
But
about.
but
Sorry, I won't cut
hold on,
you off.
let me go back to BattleBloom. Kind of just being there like all the time. That's all I would do. And he went to spawn. He's like, I don't want to just be at the stash anymore. Like, I just want to go to spawn. I want to build something. And I was like, all right, go build something. And he went, and then I went, and we just kind of flew around spawn until we found a spot, and we made BattleBloom. And
Well,
we invited the fun cubes, because this is kind of right after Project CK. And we invited Ice Horror, a couple other people.
I don't remember meeting him though.
You may have met him like once. You just don't remember. We're building there, and then that's roughly around the same time that the Magnaturin Hammer Fist Tristan thing went around.
Yeah, we got that.
And Gsmack came to me and was like, "Hey, like I got these two people, like they can come here and we can do that." Because me and Gsmack's original idea to build BattleBloom was, after I kind of started enjoying it, was to make a main base, was to make like a big base, and we were trying to see if people were trustworthy or not. And Gsmack told me, he was like, "Hey, like I found these two people. This one invited me to his base because he just got leaked by Tristan on Reddit." And I was like, "Yeah, bring whoever you want." So we're kind of building BattleBloom, and then it's kind of known now, but it's still a little unknown, so I don't really care about dropping the name. Sternenfall.
Oh yeah. Did it get griefed?
So that I have no clue, but Gsmack and I went out to build that, and we were like, all right, so who are we inviting? And we agreed on 4 pilot. Gsmack proposed Redbaron, and I said no. And I don't know how many.
Well, that's what I said at the time. I was like, if we want 4 pilot, this Redbaron kid's got to tag along.
Because you knew that. I don't know who told you. I think it probably was Pilot that told you that we were IRL friends at the time, and that we knew each other in real life, because he's the one that brought it to me, because he would always talk about it in school. I kid you not, he would make 2B2T like famous meme lines in his notebook in middle school, and he would show it to people, and no one knew what it meant. And he convinced me to come on one day, and I think I started talking to BibleBot, and then I got off, like didn't understand it, and then yeah, I think he just kind of knew that we were like IRL friends, so he's like, well, you got to bring him.
So basically, what Skuller said about BattleBloom, the one good memory that I have about BattleBloom is it was kind of an overnight base, meaning like within a day. Within like the first day of it being built, we already had like kind of like a city going. Like it kind of all just sprung up. To circle back to what Skuller said, he basically would reach out to a lot of the people for the trades. I was more of like you get it, give it to me, I'll dupe it, organize it, we'll look for more set prices. And the reason it works so well is, let me think of an example. Think of
Bill Gates.
Think of there being...
Hold on. No, let me, I have a perfect reference for it. Think of Bill Gates. right? He made Microsoft, and he has people who work for him. They have better creative ideas. They have better this, better that. Gsmack was never the social guy. I was the social butterfly. And
Yeah.
I knew how to talk to everybody because of, as much as it is like in my real life, I had to just mature as fast as I could. So I've dealt with people that were 80 years old to babies who can't even talk by like a pretty young age. Hold on. And then, so that's kind of what it was. Like, he didn't like talking to people. I knew how to talk to people. He wanted to kind of sit back and have the items and organize because that's what he liked to do. And I like to just get stuff and keep harassing people for more stuff. So that's why it worked so well, because there was like we both knew the value of the items. He had a lot of like connections because of when he joined and when he played when I didn't. So he would use those, give them to me for the communication. We would kind of figure out what to say, what to do, trade, get it. It would go back to him. He would give me what I need to trade, and it was a never-ending cycle.
So, yes. So
and the one thing I will say personally, sorry to cut you off, is once you learn how to, and I don't really ever think that's why I never worked for Gsmack that well, is because how much I traded. Once you learn to talk to 2B people a certain way and pick up on certain language and learn how to kind of like almost make people believe certain things, it gave me kind of like that learning curve. Like, I can't ask for this and say I'll give you this. Like, I have to like almost like devalue your item and make you believe it, or try to give you something and reason to you that an item is the same value even though they're like brand new. And just learning that made me learn good things.
So basically, what I wanted to say is, I think the reason, in all seriousness, like, yes, that all of what Skuller just said, but one big key exploit about it all, not really an exploit, but just usage of, what we're doing, is basically stacked items were new. No one else was doing this. So it was like, there were a few that were doing this, but basically it was like, you trade one man for one thing, trade another man for another thing. You got 4 things, and this guy's only got 2. And it was like we were just exponentially getting bigger and bigger, because the more that we traded people for like, oh, you stack this type of thing, give it to us, we'll give you this. We were like just collecting everything to the point where we became kind of like a hub of like, oh, they got everything. Because we did, we see one guy stack light gray beds, we would go after him to give him whatever we needed to get them, and we were the people that have them. Like, we would just, it was almost like just, conquering, essentially like just conquering, thing after thing. We were just getting more and more. But
it was just Monopoly. That's all it was.
It was, and
think of a Monopoly board, and you have someone who's very determined to win, and they always win.
Shout out to the few people that I remember that participated, like Lamp, UFO, and
big shout out to Lord Popcorn for
that's what I was.
Got deleted, and he gave us everything back to get us on our feet.
Yep, our stash, everything got deleted. He gave us stuff, and we literally just started again. And became bigger and had it all back. People, it's like UFO. I mean, I don't know the whole story on how they went about doing what they did, like Lamp and UFO, because they always were the other people that just seemed like they had a lot. When our paths would cross, like, we would do deals of like 20 to 30 shulks of stuff that the other party didn't have. And they played a big role in just almost like helping gather just these items around the server and trading them. It's like playing a big player card game, like we had all the good cards. And the peak of the career was when Jared invited me to an Imperium raid, and for whatever reason they had the most random stacked shit there, and I ended up getting stacked lingering poison potions, which is probably my favorite thing that I ever had. And shortly after, House pretty much kept all the dupes and made holding stacked items really difficult. So I never got to dupe those, but I had one copy of them that unfortunately got destroyed at the stash, which, I mean, everything's destroyed at this point, obviously, but,
And then probably the biggest thing was, like, the creation of Sternenfall, which kind of kickstarted everything to where we are now.
Right, so, yeah, so that was just kind of like, us. The dupes were just insane. Like, the dupes just were always there. They just, at that point, they there was always a way to dupe a friggin' donkey. Let's be real. And we were sitting on all this dupe shit. We were building. It's just a fun time. And the server got stale. It never updated when it should have. It's almost like, yeah, it updated now, but it's almost like it was just such a long wait that the update isn't even cool. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but it's like the update didn't do much for it because it's like it's already like nail in the coffin. I don't know.
Everyone waited too
But
long.
I mean, this is me speaking because I played 2B mainly for the different stuff you could collect and the exploring and the exploits, like just doing funny shit that wasn't necessarily intended is always a great time. But, that pretty much all went away when the owner kind of put the hammer down and said, this is going to be more friendly for all ages. And
then would fall, I think, because eventually I came there, and then someone who's not on the channel, and I'm pretty sure, I think I've talked to Gsmack about this, and I'll probably cover it with you later, Scholar. I don't think iLxgend will be ever on the channel, but he was one that was invited there, and then it was, us five, I believe, for a while at Sternenfall.
yeah, probably. So it's weird because it's like
Sorry to cut you off, but just to fill in some background, not going to go too far into detail just for his sake and everyone else's sake and the issue that revolves around it. iLxgend, I met him through the prison server that I met Red Sox baseball from, just to kind of, I know pretty far back, but everything was kind of interlinked.
And then it's just weird because none of the, I mean, I know this is true with all friendships, but it's just funny because none of it was intended. Like meeting Goujon.
Yeah, because you guys met Goujon when I wasn't on talking terms.
We met Goujon. Well, this is my memory of it. Is Goujon was just around spawn. We were doing spawn projects. I don't remember which one it was at the time, but
The water cube.
we were just doing stuff, and he was just one of those guys that you'd bump into, and he'd just be like, "What are we doing?" And he'd just be there to help. And I remember my Prio was about to run out, and he bought me Prio to help work on this project, and I just thought that was super cool. And we just were VCing with him more. We're like, this is a super cool guy. And, he just kind of he just literally fit right in. I mean, I don't know what more to say to that. He was just...
I remember I didn't like him at first because it kind of felt like he was a replacement to me. Because I think at the time we weren't on talking terms, and eventually when we talked to her to get talking again, you said, "Oh yeah, we have Goujon now," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So
no, he kind of popped out of nowhere. But and then Zed is my
Sim. We have to start transitioning to Sim because eventually we all quit 2B. And
okay. So we all quit 2B. We played in SMP for a while. And basically, 4Pilot had found a server a while ago called SimPVP. And what this server is basically, in a nutshell, anarchy without hacks. So basically, like your no rule type of thing. But, you can't hack. You got to play vanilla. So he logged on it, just was puttering around. I was kind of lost because I'm like, 2B... doesn't interest me anymore.
And I think I logged in as well. I logged in and moved around.
The SMPs are fun, but they're it's taking a shot. It's fun for whatever, but it's not gonna be long lasting.
Yeah,
it's
everyone, actually, can I just list off everyone who's who joined the SMP that will probably show up in future videos along the line when this is out. It was me, Gsmack, 4Pilot. He didn't really play a lot. Then it was Jeb, because Jeb, Kate, Jenna, Legend, Skuller, who else? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For the time.
Basically, so I log onto this server Sim, and I just start walking out of spawn, doing the whole thing. I find this place called Aspipia, which a bunch of morons griefed for no reason. But basically, it was a bunch of small desert pyramids, only 3 block tall ones, but they went...
Hold up, I take insult to that, because I'm the one that absolutely nuked Aspipia.
Well, then you're one of them. That place is awesome. Anyways, it was nothing but pyramids for the horizon, and it was just I just remember finding it and being like, wow, if this is here, imagine what more is just on this server. And it was just weird because the server was very old, I don't remember at the time, 10 years old, almost
right?
as old.
It was 2011. It was
almost as old as 2011, just about as old as 2B. And maybe didn't have the history as in like the player count, I guess you could say, but at the same time, this server had more active bases at the time because all the ones on 2B had been nuked. And so anyway, so we start playing here, we get established. It's cool because there's no queue, a bunch of friends join. I finally get one of my IRL friends, Zed.
That came later though, because then we reconnected because I think I was at Pilot's house for July, for like the 4th of July, and he's like, you should start playing again. All the boys are playing this SimPVP game, but I'm like, or SimPVP server. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then eventually I got on. I made my own little base for a while, and then Skuller was like, oh, Baron, if you're gonna start playing again, why don't you just come to our base? And fucking Gsmack started freaking out. He's like, no,
Yeah.
no, we're not bringing it.
So somehow Baron got there.
We gotta hold on. We gotta put a pause on it because we never even discussed how like the downfall of why we got to that point with Baron, and that starts back at.
Wasn't it with my? I had a girlfriend, right? I think it was because of that, right?
Oh,
It starts back because of the first cruise
let's
that
just
you
do
went.
a TL. Let's do a
The
TL.
wait, it starts back with the first cruise that you went on, and then
wait.
had the girlfriend, and then you went to the Tavern the Sorcerer. So that's kind of all your spot to explain.
Okay, no,
Oh,
hold
yeah.
on. I don't wanna- let's just touch on this. Basically, Baron was and sometimes is very bipolar, and he just had like mixed personalities. He became one of those kids that would just like vape and drink and think he's cool.
I
And
not vape. What the fuck?
Oh, you didn't vape? Okay, he would drink and whatever. He'd think he's cool. At the time, he really wasn't. And he got a girlfriend, and he was just a dick. And it was the type of scenario where, like, when she left him, he was like,
No, I left her.
"Sup?"
I left her.
Well, okay. When it ended, he was
Yeah.
like, "What's up, boys?" And we kind of were like, "Okay, like, go away." And anyway, so the reconnection happened. Whatever. He gets on Sim. I eventually we have Legend join Sim. We had Jeb join Sim. My IRL friend Zed eventually joins, which he would play.
That was like that was a big argument.
I never really got into like Xbox. I mean, I did play Xbox Minecraft for a bit, but I would only play it after 2020 when I was playing with my friend Zed, like because he had a world, and I was just like, all right, like I'll hop on for it. But I eventually told him, I'm like, you know what? You should just get a PC and play with me and my friends. And I promise you're going to have a lot more fun than you would on this. And he finally did it. I helped him name his account because he didn't know what to do. So I said, oh, do ZEDZEPPELIN because it's like Led Zeppelin, but with a Z, and it's funny and whatever. I helped him name it. I also helped Pilot name his new account Violet because he didn't know what to do because he was playing on an account that wasn't even his and he lost access to it. So I helped him name that. And yeah, we all played Sim up until recently when we won't go into detail, but basically
I can cover part of it.
Baron griefed our base. Our very big
I
base.
leaked it. I leaked it.
Some slurs were said.
Well, let's briefly touch on that really quick because we never really got into it. I don't think we've ever like covered it fully, but basically, what happened was I would say like let's be real. Half the time, like throughout the time we knew each other, we were always arguing with each other.
Let me cut in. Basically, and we love him. Whatever. Baron was the punching bag. We would always just. But the thing is Baron's better now. But there was a period of time where he could just not go like 2 sentences without saying the stupidest thing you've ever heard, and we'd be like, and we'd call him on it, and he eventually. We didn't know it got to this point, but he got to a breaking point and griefed the base, and it was looking like we were never going to see him again, hear from him again, until
I gotta tell the story.
Skuller called him on Christmas.
I gotta tell the story. This is a funny ass story because at the time I hadn't spoken to them. We rooted each other on everything, and eventually, you guys planned your meetup. I had no idea about this. And they all met up in person. I've only met up with Skuller and Jetsboy in person yet. I want to meet Gsmack over the summer, but in Z. But basically, I was a junior year. It was like I think early junior year. It's about December, and I met this girl who I'm not gonna name drop because she's a fucking crazy woman. But basically, she had ghosted me. Well, we had hung out for Halloween, and then she kind of like just ghosted me, and then she like randomly popped back into my life, like just messaged my mom on Instagram to talk to me, and eventually I like gave her a shot or whatever. She was so pressuring me on dating her, even though she kind of like dipped on me. So I'm like, okay, whatever, and I started dating her, and then it was Christmas, and I'm at her house for Christmas with her family, and eventually I was like just chilling with her and her mom, and I get a call on my phone. It's a FaceTime call, and I'm like, why the fuck? Who is FaceTiming me? This is really weird. And I didn't know the number because I didn't have SkullerG's number saved at the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to answer this. She's like, do you want me to answer it? I can answer it for you. And I'm like, no, I could do it. I could do it. And I'm so glad that I made that choice, because I pressed the FaceTime button, and I met with this guy's bitch ass fucking face. I just see SkullerG's smirk just all over his face, and I'm like, oh my fucking gosh. And he's like, and his first like line to me was just, I don't like you, but Merry Christmas.
So basically, that had happened. Basically, that was after our base had gotten grief. Baron, we kind of gradually all started to just realize that it's a block game, and that, you know, Baron had seemed like he had somewhat changed, or at least was actually not feeling great about what he had done. And, you know, he kind of, he doesn't like when we say this, but he came crawling back.
Whoa, no,
And,
whoa, hold up. You're the one that came back to me. You're the one that called me.
Baron,
We don't like liars here.
I know, you came crawling back.
What? You called me? What is this bullshit?
Anyway, so basically that brings us to kind of in the era we're around now, where we all kind of, well, there's a couple that still play, but we all kind of quit Sim, mainly because of the staff on that server is very biased and, you know, calls a lot of the shots just on their own will, and doesn't really check with the player base or kind of care or anything like that. And it's just it's very far from what it was when we first joined, which kind of just seemed like, you know, a vanilla anarchy server type of thing. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, I'd say that pretty sums it up. It's just not what it was. Now
A big part of it is too, and I'm not also gonna say, like, I can agree and disagree with the admin, but it wasn't everybody. Some of the choices were made that really kind of put the cap into it with everybody. But I feel like the big final thing that happened, that really just set some people in a direction of where it seems like our group is dead, was when our base got griefed, our most recent one. So that kind of like, even kind of like during that time, we had everything. We had over like 20 million items at this base.
30 million.
Yeah, something around there. And we got bored. Legend wanted to build everything. I already built every single farm there was. We had perimeters in the nether. Like, it was, if it was on current day Sim still, it would still be the richest base by far. Because that's all I would do. I would grind, I would build farms, but
So
when you're sitting on a million emerald blocks and everything, and then that's all you're used to, it was just a motivation kill.
And I don't like to I don't like to rag on the entire community, because I know all different spaces have their different communities, but I will say Sims community, there are good aspects of it, but it was always very hot and cold.
It was shallow.
Very kind of moronic. Like, almost like the humor was, you know, you'd have your dumb humor, which is not the problem. You know, it's whatever. But you'd have people that are just very toxic for no reason, almost like acting
where they take it just beyond personal, and they think like it's attacking them.
And the worst part of it is, which I was trying to get to, is a majority of these people that I'm referring to became admins on the admin team and big influences in some of the bigger groups, to where the server was basically owned by this population of people that kind of, you know, are just in their own lane and, you know, just kind of toxic for no reason, like all over the place. I mean, I don't know if you want to add to that, but
personally for me, one of the two main reasons why I never decided to restart, and I know a lot of people do wonder that, so if anyone's watching this interview, it's the one spot that you can get the answer, is I slowly started to realize it, but I never said anything, was there was a group, it's called Order of Wilbur. It's still the same thing. There was already one admin in there. Another admin who was already in the group, well, he was made admin. And then there was another admin on top of it, and another admin. And then when like certain people in that group would suggest things, it would get pushed almost immediately through. So just kind of seeing that aspect of nobody else really has say unless you're in this total admin power group. It was that. And I know that for a while. And then kind of just knowing that, like when they made certain changes and they had certain people as staff, it just didn't become fun. I lost all my items, and then it's a motivation kill, because I know what's happening at those places. I'm not saying that there is admin abuse, because they are very strict, and I will say they are very good on that. Like it almost just became like there was no competition. The server community was dead at the time. There was no motivation to keep going, because
I want to build off of that.
And it just kept going.
Let me build off of that. So basically, that's because I'm trying to like recap how I feel toward the server, and it is what Sculler said about the admins and stuff. But honestly, it became to the point where there was no competition. Like YMP, who they were like our big rival, they were, toxic, but not in a really toxic way. And it was just kind of good fun. They added a nice aspect. When they left, the whole state of enemies on the server became people that sit at their island bases, meaning chunk trails get deleted so that their bases are never going to get found. They'd say what they want, and there was no way to even interact with these people other than the chat. There's no actually PvP on the server. There's nothing to do, and it got to the point where whatever they say goes. So like, you could, again, I don't play these servers to be a dick. If you wanted to make a massive friggin' lava cast, it could get world edited out. So we had found a stronghold in a version where the eyes actually went to the strongholds, and in 1.20 they added a new armor trim which could only be found in these strongholds. So my friend Zed and I were sitting on the stronghold waiting for the server to update, because we knew we hadn't opened the chest yet, and when it updates we were going to get a rare armor trim that no one had. And one of the admins took it upon themselves to just make it so that they're one of the more common ones that just spawn in igloos, just because he felt like it. And we, kind of gave our argument of like, this isn't vanilla. This could have at least, had a vote or something like that. And they just got completely brushed under the rug, which I do kind of understand what I'm about to say, why they did it. I thought it'd be funny to take a nether water and make a nether water cube at spawn, just to see what the admins would do if they would say, oh, this is disabled or whatever. But they basically world edited it out, and one of the admins just said, oh, it's not a big deal since they don't play that much, or something along those lines. But that event, and again, I get why it was removed. Their reasoning was like, oh, it makes the server look like it has admin abuse, which, yes, it does look like it, but the server does have admin abuse. But anyway, that was kind of just like I just hate how vague it was. They don't tell you what exactly is allowed and what isn't, and they just do what they feel is necessary. And in a lot of cases, they're in the wrong, but they just kind of lead with how they feel, because they have
I do want to add
role.
on. Throughout the whole time playing it, and it's not just me that's going to agree with this, going to be everybody in this call, probably even Jets, and he hasn't even really played Sim. It was just so vague the whole way. With rules, it was vague. Could you use this mod? Like, it says no minimap mods, but then there's a section that says minimap mods are allowed. Like, what certain specifications do you need? Or how an external auto clicker not allowed, but a mod auto clicker is. But then you can't modify the game. And it's the same thing with kind of everything. Like, there was points where the admin communication was really good, and then it just started becoming vague and in more of a sour community. Like, if you were to bring up not that long ago, I brought up a genuine concern about the server, and like my first reply from the admin was like, this is like a joke, like making a joke of it, which kind of just goes to show how it is now versus when it was. It was vague, but every admin at the time would like interact with you. They would talk to you, and that just kind of brushed me the wrong way.
Yep. So just one thing I just want to say quick. Leading off of that, one thing that the server, again, the whole toxic community kind of brewed up is PvP, griefing, and exploring, like as in chunk trail following, base hunting, were all just made in a group decision, like they were frowned upon. Like if you wanted to fight, you were you were whatever. Like they didn't, because these guys just like to sit at their island bases and build. That's all they would do, and just talk and chat and stir it up. You grief one base on a server that's advertised as a whole no rules thing, and it's like all hell would break loose because of this grief. It's like it was so heavy on like the politics, you know what I mean? Like where it became literally like in one of your townie servers where it's like, oh, if you're a friendly person who likes to play Minecraft and pick fucking flowers and build a house, you're gonna get in the Order of Wilbur because you have that mindset of you just want to build. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just all got skewed, and the whole server is like it's just so strange.
Yeah, and this kind of leads to where we're at today, because all of you quit Sim, and then I think eventually you and Z graduated college, Skuller went off to college, I was in my senior year of high school, and eventually, like, well, I got my heart broken for the first time, and I eventually started making YouTube videos, which I sucked at in the beginning. I was awful at, and I didn't even have a good thing to record with, and eventually, like, I think we still talked. I think we all still talked, but like, it was pretty small. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like super much, because then sometimes you'd have issues where like if I joined a call that you were in, then Pilot wouldn't join or Legend wouldn't join, and it would be like, it'd almost be like you would have to choose between who you talk to. I think you guys had to feel like it was like, okay, well, what the fuck? It was like to that point where it was like, okay, they couldn't do certain things, because then, what is it? When you guys wanted to plan a meetup for the second time, Legend was like, oh, well, if Baron's going, I'm not going. And it was like, okay, so now we have to choose between two friends and one friend. What the fuck is this? And
yeah, and just to add to it, I mean,
I get why
the sad truth of it all is we're all still here in some aspect. It's just like, we're all growing up, and we have a lot of on our plate where we're not on the game as much as we could be, and that happens. But so I guess that's kind of that just kind of adds to the fact of why the group also feels a little bit broken, is it's like, we're not as involved with the game that brought us together as we used to be.
Yeah,
and
I get why Legend's still mad at me. It still annoys me that he's to the point where like he won't even be in the same server as me, even though I don't even like talk to him. I've never messaged him once throughout his whole time of hating me for like these last 2-3 years. And I know Pilot, I don't really talk to him. I don't really care to talk to him again. But basically, it's to the point now where it's like, I mean, yeah, everyone's still together. Jeb stopped talking to everyone, which I think is just really weird. And like he won't even like speak to anyone, and the only time he ever speaks in like anything is like if Kate, Jenna, or Lori speaks in Beautiful Morning, he'll join in, and it's like, dog, what the fuck? And I mean, I guess that's what's good with the channel now, is that it kind of gives us a chance to revive everything. And like, cause all of us you guys have full-time jobs. You, Skuller, Z have full-time jobs. Jets is in college. I'm in college. Goujon's also in college, and like what's nice about it now is that we can like, obviously I try to like, I mainly only spend my time editing, so I don't really like do a lot, and I like to grow this channel because I really think this channel could be really great just because of what we have here as a group of friends, if it sounds cringy enough. But basically that's kind of it, and I'll kind of, I guess, recap of like the story of how we got to this point now where all of you are now involved in like making decisions and coming up with video ideas. Is that it also didn't used to be this way. Gsmack's gonna remember this part. When I launched my first, I don't think it was my first video. I think it was like my second or third video, I think. One of it was like Gsmack, I think, glitched in like a video on Bed Wars, and he was like in a swim animation running through his bridge. And I posted it on TikTok, and he sent a photo of him reporting the video. which which pissed me off because I'm like, bro, fuck off. And I don't know, it became the thing where like it did kind of feel like you guys didn't want to join in. And it was to the point where Skuller would be like, if I did a video with Skuller, he told me, this guy literally said to me, yeah, if you want to do a video with me, you're going to blur out my name. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, blur out my name. So videos that took me like 10 minutes to make now started taking half an hour long because I was there making sure nobody saw Skuller's name tag, which I still sucked at. And it was so bad. And I think eventually Skuller was like, bro, you don't have to do it anymore because like you suck at blurring it out. And I'll be honest, it kind of felt like you guys didn't support me in the beginning. I don't care what y'all say. It kind of felt like y'all didn't support me in the beginning. Maybe it was because you were just thinking I would like give up.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, can I just from my point of view?
Yeah.
I can't speak for anyone else. To be completely honest, I didn't know fully what you were doing because I know, like I said, GS at that time was still just kind of what we were known as on Sim. And at the state we were at, it was kind of like you had, I don't want to say disassociated with us because I know that's not the case, but you kind of weren't involved in that. So when you were kind of just bringing it up, it was just kind of like, okay, I don't know what he's trying to do, but
Yeah.
he's doing his own thing and whatever. That's kind of just where I was at, is it's like, not that I supported you or didn't support you. I was just kind of like mutual to where I didn't know exactly what your angle was, I guess you could say.
And to kind of tie into my angle, because I am carpet shampooing my floor right now because my dog peed on it. Touch up on how like I kind of touch up how like as much as like it was like weird, like kind of dragged you back into talking to everybody again.
Drag me back in. Well, I don't.
Well, it's kind of, I wasn't part of Sim as much, so when he griefed your base,
Oh,
or I
yeah,
guess our
yeah,
base,
he
it wasn't that big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
So I was able to talk to like Skuller and Baron at the same time, and Skuller hated him for the longest time, and then it probably wasn't due to me at all, but just over time, I don't think he can hold grudges very well, and it was like, hey, and then the rest of the story as how he said on Christmas.
Yeah, and then I think I talked to Jets a
Also,
lot.
like kind of throughout that whole time too, I will say everybody in GS kind of hated him. They either had a neutral opinion on him, and because no one else was talking to him, they didn't talk to him, or they outright hated him. There was no in between.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely kind of was that one, like always kind of like in the back, like saying like, yo, you guys keep pushing him, he's gonna crack. But obviously I would say whatever, and Baron is the only one that would snap back at me. Like during like the grief and stuff, like in ways I was defending him, in ways I wasn't. I didn't really care because that's just kind of how I am. You don't like me? Too bad. You're gonna have to deal with me regardless. I just kind of kept talking to him and kept socializing with him and explaining to everybody, like, listen, like, yeah, he might have did something, but there's always a reason. It just got better and better and better, and more people just kind of realized, like, okay, Skuller normally doesn't like people, and if he keeps talking,
I think the biggest thing, and not to take jabs at anyone, so I'm not going to say names in this, but basically, at least for me, I think it was, I don't remember what the thing was, and sorry to throw this out there, Baron, if you didn't want it out there, but that time when I was in some form of a call with Baron, he was crying, saying like,
oh yeah, wait, I gotta get this one.
I hope you guys call me on my graduation stuff. I don't want to say that was the moment, but I've always been the type of person where I don't think living your life holding a grudge, especially over a fucking block game, is worth it. And I always, obviously when it originally happened, we're all pissed at him, but I'm like, he's not a terrible person. This is what he did, and it's gonna heal, and it's just a frigging game. And like I said, I'm not gonna name drop, but there's some people that still hold those grudges, which is just not a way that I really wanted to, go forward with it.
I understand it, because that same guy that I think we're both referencing, he's like, I get it, like, he doesn't do much besides, like, play Minecraft, and he works his job, and then he plays Minecraft, and I understand that like, that means a lot to him, but at what point does it, like, at what point are you just kind of letting it, affect, like, friendships?
Right.
Because it's like, at what point are you gonna like give out? Because are you gonna be like fucking 40 years old and you're still gonna hate me? And like, what if the channel takes off? Are you gonna like then are you gonna forgive me? And then like now you want like at what point does it like end? Because then it's like if you forgive me once the channel takes off, like why should I bring you back into this? Like everyone was there even when I was suffering, and like I didn't have much to go with. Like I think Goujon was the first one to support me because he I think I was talking to him one day and he's like, oh, I see all your videos, like we should do a video together, and like I want to like help you with this, like I can be your Bonnie to your Clyde. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then we did the first video with him and Jets because I got Jets on a call, and we did I think the Disney video, and we did our zombie apocalypse video. I forgot what was the other one. Do you know?
It was a zombie, and it was the theme park, wasn't it?
Yeah, zombie theme park, and then what was it? Because we did like 3 videos together. There was like 3 different videos.
Was it a single player zombie?
No,
I think it was a map.
No, Pixelmon. We did Pixelmon together.
Oh, we did Pixelmon.
Yeah, we did so many games together that one night. It was like a 3-hour recording where we did 3 different videos that are up on the channel today, and like one of the first ones up there. And that's where it kind of started kicking off. And then I don't know if I don't know if you saw those videos, and that's why you like.
He's muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Yeah, he's cleaning up his dog.
Oh yeah.
No, I never even saw the videos. I just kind of like screwing around, and I knew Baron liked doing whatever. I think he recorded me just playing Bed Wars and uploaded it and was be like, yo, kind of like look like people just like our conversations, and I was like, like I would still say like even throughout like the whole time. Like, I probably was the first person to just kind of be that kind of, like, negative friendly output Baron needed throughout the whole time. And I say that, like, genuinely, like, it's always good to have, like, somebody and just, like, genuine life advice to have somebody who's, like, tells you straight up. And they're telling you straight up just for, like, your own benefit, your own good. And that's kind of, like, what I did. And then I was like, okay, if he likes it, if it builds him skill, it gets him what he wants, and it makes him happy, which is everyone's goal. Like, yeah, I'll keep making content. I'm not going to change anything. He may have to censor a lot, but
yeah, there's a lot we censor half the time. And to the point where we're like now here, where it's like eventually I think like Gsmack. I don't think Gsmack and Zed ever wanted to be in videos. That's for you to touch base on. But I don't think you guys were like really cared to be in any videos. And then I'm gonna ask you this because I don't know when it started that where you were like, I want to start being in your videos.
Oh, me?
Yeah, because you and Z never.
Well, my preference on it all and being genuine is I think it's fun just hanging out with you guys, and it's like, if you're gonna film a video, that's fine. But I don't, again, like I said, I think it's just kind of genuine conversation. Like I'm not here to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like put on a mask or put on a voice.
A lot of to sum it up, kind of making it easy, a lot of people it's effortless. Our videos are genuinely just being like, yo, like we're all bored, let's get on the game, hop in a VC and play a game. And they're all just genuine conversations. Like, this is like as weird as it seems. Like, yeah, like there's always that kind of in the back of your mind, like you're recording, like, but a lot of it we still don't really care. Yeah. Like there's kind of like those, it's able to know that you're recording and still kind of have like your effortless, like, oh, I'm gonna SWAT your parents' house. Like, and not have to worry. Like, it's just like those like connections, and we've had that for so long. We knew each other. We know each other pretty well IRL. Like it just clicked. Like that's really the big thing. Just to kind of add to Gsmack's, like you don't need to fake it, and a lot of people would much rather have a genuine thing. And I feel like that's when something kind of takes off versus like, because you can tell when something's scripted. Yeah. Like it's just effortless. We don't have to like study a script.
Right. Like yeah. Like I mean,
and it's still the same.
I'd help you out if you were like, hey, like, can you help me plan this, and this for a video or whatever. But I'm saying, as of right now, I enjoy just like, oh, we're gonna do a FFA, and we're gonna record it. I'm just like, okay, like it sounds fun. Like I'm not here to put a face on, or none of us are. We're just playing the game.
Yeah, and I think like eventually, like it'll get to the point where we'll have to like plan more stuff out once we get like more established and like it gets to a point where it's more like a business or whatever. But I feel like at that point we'll have to like make decisions because like I don't think any of us want it to feel like we're being forced to get on and play. video games to pay rent. That would be really stupid. And it would take away from the fact that we're playing it because we just like to do it in our free time. Where like, it's just a thing to like not blow off steam, but just have fun with your friends because everyone lives far away and like, there's a small chance that we ever meet up in person like all together. And because I think for the most part we'll all always live like states away, and we'll never have like that moment where we're always like near each other because it's everyone has different lives and shit that they live.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, if your goal is to get into YouTube or do anything you like, I think just do it with a genuine thing. Even if it takes time, it takes, like, years or anything.
When did this turn into a goddamn motivational... Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, that's funny. But like, genuinely, I think even Gsmack can back me up here. It's like, if you want to do something, like, don't feel like you... Like, obviously, because everyone wants it fast, and I get that. Because, like, of course, everyone wants the fucking money. Everyone wants the fame.
To go against what Baron's trying to say, fake it till you make it.
To go against what they're both trying to say, essentially what he's saying is have fun in what you do. If you don't have fun, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Wait,
I said that wrong. I mean, if you don't have fun, you'll work every day of your life. If you do have fun, you won't work a single day in your life.
Yeah.
Famous quote.
That's really the big story of how we all came together. It's started from like mainly it kind of stemmed from you guys because
It started from my seed.
What?
Started from my blossom.
That can be way better worded.
I'm like the grandfather. You guys are
Why
the
did I let my puppy out of my cage? Sorry to interrupt. And he's like he's running around me. He's like trying to lick my face and everything, jumping all on me. I hear him snorkeling. All of a sudden I hear it came from my seed. That's probably the worst thing to come back to, but
that's kind of how we came to be. It kind of stemmed from like Skuller and Gsmack meeting, and eventually they came on Tubi, and Pilot and I we were friends back then, and he brought me onto 2B, and then eventually just like it kind of. I'm gonna say it because it's cringy. It's cringy to say it, but I don't give a fuck. It was meant to be. The friendship was meant to be because it all came.
All right, I didn't know it turned into a Cinderella story. You want me to keep going or not?
No, but just like to sum it up, it just happened. It just fucking happened. And it was just like we all met each other randomly. Like there could have been several points where we wouldn't have met each other because you met Jeb through the Archon too, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I actually have a question from that, which I think I know the answer, but Jeb was just kind of like came with Legend, right?
No. So kind of like to fill in how I got Legend and Jeb into GS. Legend kind of was just like would always message me. He was one of the people that I used to play with a lot. And as everybody in Flawed, which was my prison group, started getting older and drifting away and doing everything, Jeb and Legend just kind of always stuck around.
Right.
So we would communicate. We were all kind of doing our own different little things at the time until 2B, where that's where all I was playing, and Legend and Jeb didn't really have a server to call like home.
Which is why the SMP
I was
started.
I was like, yo, just come on to 2B. I was like, I'm basically the leader of the group. No one's gonna say no to me. I can just pull my trump card, and that's just kind of how they both came in. And then they had a server to call home, which kind of was like right near our hiatus and then migration away from the server. But I essentially I knew them from prisons. I said one day in the group chat, yo, I'm bringing my two friends over. They're trustworthy. Don't question them. And they ended up in the group.
Yeah, and then I think eventually, like when we quit 2B, we played at SMP for a while, and then, which is actually like eventually like they'll obviously be on this channel because I'm fucking trying to get Jenna on, and Kate will eventually come on. We need females in this because like I don't want to feel like it's an all boys club. Like,
We are an all boys club.
Okay, let's not go there. We're not an all boys club. If you're a female,
I like swing.
We're not part of the Booney Bee Club.
We're not Boonie Beaters. We're not part of the Boonie.
The Booney Bee.
I'm a Booney beater. I subscribed.
The Boonie Beaters. Okay.
Don't
But
forget, Baron. I was your 300th subscriber.
I do remember that. I do remember. They sent me a screenshot. He said, "You're welcome."
He kept begging me. He was like, "Please, I'm about to hit 200." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna beat your ass." Hold on.
Well, on that note,
Well, eventually, like, they'll be on this channel. So if you're a female and you watch this channel, there will be other female creators of this channel. But that's whenever they're not busy, because Kate is currently at grad school. The other, Lori, who, okay, when I say Lori, I mean a Lori you guys have not been introduced to. If you are on this channel, you will know that there is, even on my channel and the GS channel, a bit, I call her Lori, but her full name is Lauren, and she's in the videos of Bed Wars and my Aether video. So, yeah, she is not technically a part of this group, and she
which
will
we
no
definitely have to do an Aether video.
Yep, and to cover it now before, like, obviously it gets to the point, there will be more videos that she's a part of, but they're not, like, new videos. They're old videos that were recorded about a year ago, and she will no longer be in any newer videos because of just things that have happened that are not acceptable between a few people. So any video that she is in, just note that that is a year old, and she is no longer talking to it. Well, I mean, I have her contact, but we don't talk anymore because of things that happened, and she'll no longer appear in any videos. And the other Lori that will appear in newer videos, hopefully, is a Canadian, actually, and she is not on bad terms, even though she fucking freaks out a lot. I swear to fuck, bro. She freaks out a lot. Lori freaks out a lot. I think Skuller can back me up on this. Even Gsmack, the Canadian Lori, just fucking freaks the fuck out. And Jenna will eventually be on this channel, and there's like 3 of them eventually. I don't know, but we met them because Legend met them on what was it? Fucking what is that server they played on? Skuller, do you know?
I got nothing.
They played on some server. It was Legend and Jeb that played on some server, and I think Legend showed me it. It was some server that played like tower defense or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, Gsmack?
Is that CubeCraft?
Is it CubeCraft? I don't know if it's CubeCraft.
I don't. Yeah, I think, but I didn't. Or I don't. I actually
It was
don't.
CubeCraft.
Okay, it was CubeCraft. So CubeCraft is where Legend and Jeb would play. They would play a lot of tower defense, and Legend ended up meeting up this guy named Swag, and I think it was Swag that introduced Legend to Jenna and Kate, because they were like friends.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, they were a big friend. They're good friends, which I don't think they talk that much anymore. But they were really good friends at the time, and they eventually got put on our server and our Discord, and eventually we all started talking. And yeah, they're doing their own thing right now. They'll hopefully appear because I've been pressuring them to get on. But yeah, they came on, and actually, does anyone know what happened to Swag? Because he deleted his Discord. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It's very personal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sums up the
All right.
interview.
On that note, that concludes the interview.
I gotta go.
Yep, that kind of sums up the interview. That's how we all met, and where we met, and how we came to be today, where you see all the videos that are just us fucking around and saying some pretty bad shit. So, and this is a pretty long interview, so if you stuck around, give yourself a pat on the back, because you just wasted about an hour of your fucking
I gotta go.
life. Bye. Yeah, you wasted about an hour of your life. So, if you like this video, please like it. Give me some audience retention. I need that straight line. And
Goodbye, Boonie Beaters.
goodbye, Booty Beaters. And what do we call our GS Trading Co. Fans? Our
We'll figure it
GSOs?
out.
Our GSOs?
No comment.
Our GSO?
No, that's not.
We will not demoralize them as such.
Okay, I'll refer to you guys as ladies and gentlemen that have joined this video, and you like the interview, please hit a like, because I will interview them each individually to get to know all of them. But with that being said, have a good day, and I'll see you ladies and gentlemen later. Goodbye.